Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you've been having a brilliant day. And, I figured, what a great chance to just come and make another video. Because, look at my hair. Yeah. Look at it. So, I started a transition 1 year ago. And anybody that knows me from my previous life knows that I used to wear a two-tone mohawk. And I had the sides buzzed every 3 weeks with a zero clipper. So this has taken a year, and it's fun. Well, I figured I would come and make a video for y'all today, and just a little short thing, talking about some trans issues, I figured today might be a good chance to talk about what you, the protocol you go about for going about transitioning when you finally determine that you are trans. So there's different ways to figure it out. Kind of goes differently for everybody. I'll use myself as my example because I can only really speak from my own personal experience, right? Yeah, so I kind of knew from a really early age that I was trans. I didn't have a title to put to what I'd felt. I kind of wish that I'd had the opportunity to sit down and talk to some people, because I probably would have realized these things much sooner. Probably would have been a lot happier much sooner. But, I'm sure I wouldn't have had the same kind of experiences that I was able to have in my previous life. Maybe they would have been better. Maybe they've been worse. I don't know. Who's to say? Here I am today, Katrina DeVille, in the flesh, and things played out the way they're supposed to play out. There's an old saying that I was taught years ago that goes something like, things happen the way they're supposed to. Otherwise, they would have happened differently. So, when I was young, I went after girl things, those were the things that I identified with the most, like those are the things that made me happy. And I was kind of steered away from those things because, it's only recently that being trans hasn't been seen as a taboo thing, and I see we're trying to roll that back. Trans people have fought really hard for a really long time to not be discriminated against and bigoted against. So this whole rollback of features of rights and we can just knock that off right now. And hopefully, through showing you all the realities of it and sharing my story with you, that you can see I'm not a three-headed monster. I'm not out here to hurt people or thwart governments and things like that. Nah, I want to live, and I want to do things that bring peace and joy and happiness, and so good-hearted stuff. I try to make the world a better place, and that's a lot of why I make these videos. I try to make the world a better place for you and me and everybody else around us too. So I knew that I wanted to be a girl, but I didn't know what the name was Forehead. When I was in my teens, I started doing some research on the brand new internet. Feeling old now. Okay, let's roll that back. I started doing some research on the internet about how a person transitions into a woman if you're born male. And I read the protocols, and I learned about all the drugs that someone is prescribed or they take when they want to transition. And I was able to get some hormones, and I was able to start taking them. I didn't have any supervision. That's a pretty dangerous way to go about it, but I was determined, and I felt it in my heart that it was the right thing to do. So I started to take them, and I immediately felt better. So happy. Just like now. I mean, look it. Yeah. So I would take the hormones, and I would feel exponentially better. And after a little bit of time, then some physical changes started to happen. Because hormones not only change your chemical makeup, which determines your feelings and thoughts and all that sort of thing, but it changes physical stuff too. And when things would start to change, like like how are we going to explain some of these things away? You start to have freak out moments, and I was full of a lot of fear back then. It was, like I said, it was seen as a taboo sort of thing. A lot of folks would be uncomfortable to even talk about it. And folks in this day and age can be uncomfortable to talk about it. So I really try to show that it's okay. It's part of life. And so I would see some physical changes start to happen, and I would freak out because I wasn't ready to talk to people about it. I wasn't ready to share the inner things that I held inside. And I was afraid that if I did, I would lose all the people that I cared about, all the people that cared about me. I figured this is just too much. No one's going to accept this. So, when physical changes would start to happen, you get to that point where it's like, okay, you either have to explain this or you have to stop. And I wasn't ready to do any explaining. I wasn't ready to do any talking. So I would stop hormones and I would throw them out. And I would breathe a sigh of relief for a moment. And, after a month or so, I would get depressed. And I would start to spiral down this rabbit hole of self-loathing and lack of self-care. When your insides don't match up with what you're seeing on the outside, it can take a pretty heavy toll on your heart. And when the feelings that you have inside of how you'd like the world to see you when your fear and anxiety hold you back from grabbing onto those feelings and running with them, it's like a ball and chain around your ankle, holds you back in everything that you do. So, yeah, I would stop taking the hormones. I would throw them out, and I would, I would get all depressed, and I would think back to when I was taking the hormones, and like, I was really happy, like right now, so I would go get some more, and I would start taking them again, and like, here we are again, yeah, it's all better. And then something else would change, and then I would freak out again, and I would throw them out again, and yeah, it was this vicious cycle with me for like 20 years, off and on, off and on, off and on. So my chemicals have been going up and down and up and down and up and down for a good bit of my life. It's kind of wild. I remember certain people thinking that I was maybe bipolar at certain times in my life, and I can understand why, because with your chemical makeup and your thoughts and your emotions doing one of these, because your hormones are up and down, it's every bit possible that it would seem like two different people stuck in one, I can honestly say that since starting on this transition, I feel the most centered that I ever have. I feel the most confident in my thoughts, the most confident in myself. I actually care about myself now, which is this entirely new concept. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's just back up just a little bit, shall we? Okay, so. And it's just water. Don't you be thinking I'm doing anything. Okay, so when I determined I was trans, when the notion finally entered my head that this is what is going on here. Oh, it's that. There's a name for it. Holy crap. Okay. I sat and thought about it. Because it finally had a title. Finally had like some sort of like, oh, there's diagnoses for dealing with this. And I thought really hard about what those diagnoses entailed. And I was still pretty racked with fear, I'll say, it's when you're a really social person like me, and you value your friendships and your family with high regard and an extreme amount of heart like me, you really don't want those people to leave you. Some people will be around for the long haul in your life, and some won't. Some, get in, if your life is like a car, some are here to go around the block, and some are here to go all the way from beginning to the end. And that's just how it is. But, all that not wanting people to leave, not wanting to feel abandoned and things, that can make you hold off on quite a bit of things. And that fear can really be a substantial life factor hanging over your head to make you not do the things that are actually good for you to do. So, there were a couple of instances in my life that really made me wake up to it and really made me understand that, like, yeah, this is the right thing for me. And it came to a point about a year ago when a very dear friend of mine passed away very unexpectedly, very suddenly, and it shook me every bit as much as if someone had physically put their hands on my shoulders and shook me and said, listen, there's an expiration date to all this. Whatever this is, whatever this life is, it ends. So you'd better get to doing the things that you've been afraid to do. or don't, and then be miserable for the rest of your life. So yeah, we're I did that for the last 40 whatever years. We're not doing that anymore. So I decided I was going to do this for real, and I'm going to do it the right way, and I'm going to have medical team looking over me, and we're going to, everything's going to be monitored and by the book, and people have been transitioning for decades and decades. There's a protocol to it to safely do it, and medical professionals know the things to monitor and the things to watch when you go down this line. This whole rhetoric of, everybody's getting transgender surgeries and everybody's transgender for everybody. Really? Some people have gone full on bonkers, let me tell you. It's not me. So, Planned Parenthood. They do all sorts of women's health things, not just abortions. They do, all sorts of women's health things, and that includes trans women too. So I called Planned Parenthood and I said, I would like to talk to someone about getting on hormones because I'm trans. This was the first step. This was the first time I'd said it to anybody. I called Planned Parenthood and said, I'm doing this for me. I'm going to try really hard not to cry again. Like the last video. Seems to be a theme. Anyways, so they said, okay, we will let you talk to this nurse, and she'll take you through the checklist of all the health and mental things that we go through to make sure that you're okay as a human, and we'll go from there. So, awesome. I said, awesome, let's do it. So they put me in contact with this really lovely woman, and she ran me down this checklist of all things that they consider before you start down the road to the new you. And she went over all the health aspects and all the mental aspects that were relevant, and it was determined that I'm healthy and of stable mind for the most part. I love you all. Don't judge. So she's like, okay, we're going to start you on this very low dose of estrogen. And because I'd done all these things over 20 years on my own, I knew the protocols and I knew the drugs that, they were going to give me. And it was like welcoming an old friend. And even more so, this friend was coming to stay. I didn't have to usher them out at the end of a month. So she put on the very minimum dose with oral pills of estrogen and a testosterone blocker. And she said, okay, take this, like instructed, and it's a very small little estrogen pill, looks just like a birth control pill, and you take this sublingually under your tongue. You let it, which means you let it dissolve under your tongue. That way, it goes directly into your bloodstream instead of passing through your liver. If it passes through your liver, the liver can filter out most of the benefits that you're trying to get from it. So that's why we do it this way. And she said, I'll see you in a month. And in a month, we'll have you come in and we'll do blood work and see where you're at. Okay, off I went, my merry little way with my little blue pills. Happy times, yeah. So, after a month, I went back to Planned Parenthood, and they stuck me with a needle, and They drew blood, and within like a day, I had my test results. And the whole idea is they want to get your hormones to be the same as a cisgendered woman. And so, like I spoke about the hormone levels in one of my previous videos, that's where this ties in. So, she said, you're very low on your estrogen. Your testosterone looks good. So we're going to increase the dose of estrogen. When they started me off, I was on 2 milligrams a day. And she said, okay, we're going to bump you up to 4. Okay. And as a rule of thumb, the most they will prescribe to someone is 8 a day. So when I was taking them on my own, I was at 8 because full throttle all the way. Yeah, I wouldn't advise. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so they bumped me up to 4, and she said, okay, we'll see you in another month. And, same thing. I went off with my little blue pills on my merry little way, and came back in a month. And they drew more blood and did more tests. And she said, okay, you're still low. We're going to bump you up to 6. Okay, see you in a month. This is a running theme here. Yeah. So in a month, I went back. And she said, yeah, you're still a bit low. So what we're going to do is bump you up to 8. And they put me at 8. And the last time I had my blood checked, see, after once they get you at the correct level, then you just you come back in 3 months and they check your blood, and then another 3 months and they check your blood again, and then they check you after 6 months. So I just had my 1 year. So I just had my blood work done just a couple weeks ago, and a cisgendered woman's estrogen should be between 200 and 400. What is it? I still have it written down here. Estrogen is measured in picograms per milliliter. Yeah. So cisgendered woman's estrogen should be between 200 and 300 picograms per milliliter. And mine was at like 235, which is pretty good. It's right in the optimal range. A cisgendered woman's testosterone should be between 20 and 100 nanograms per deciliter. Mine was less than 2, which is, it's sufficiently nuked, which is awesome. But it had other side effects on me too, where when your testosterone is that low, it makes it difficult for you to lose weight. You can be fatigued quite a bit, and I was having both of those symptoms going on, where I would fall asleep in random chairs in my home. And I think it after talking to my therapist, I was also reminded that because of the current political landscape, environment, hellscape that is going on in this country, and the lack of sleep that I have been awarded because of that, also is a contributing factor to falling asleep in random places. But, I'm a cat, so we kind of just do that anyways. Meow. Right, meow? Right, meow. No. No sleeping. Okay, so anyways, yeah, now I just continue on with this regimen now that I'm at the proper level. And the idea that anyone is getting surgeries, going to school as a boy and coming home as a girl, it doesn't work like that, y'all. It's a long process. All this is a long process. If you can think back to your puberty and how long that took, this is what I'm dealing with right now. This is what trans people deal with. It's puberty version 2.0. We're doing it again. So it took years back then for you and for me. It's taking years right now for me again. No surgeon will even consider talking to you if you've not been on hormones for at least a year. And to get on hormones as an adult, you can self-diagnose like I did, but a youngster, a minor, no. You would have to have doctor permission. You would have to have parent permission. Nobody's just giving children these drugs haphazardly. Nobody's just like taking the child's word for it. No, like people are listening to the child because that's really important. When you don't listen to children, they end up feeling trapped and hopeless, and we end up losing them. So it's really important to listen to the children who know these things about themselves. I mean, listen to them and talk to them about it. Take them to see people to talk to them about it. But just shutting it down and denying it and telling them no, that is a recipe for disaster. You need to listen to your children. You need to talk to your children about these things. They're coming to you to talk about something that is difficult to talk about. They trust you. You need to talk to your children about these things. If you love them, you need to listen to the things they say. Okay? All right. So, so now I've been on hormones for a year. And some doors start to open as far as like procedures. There's things about my physical makeup that I'm not entirely pleased with. Things that my masculine puberty affected on my physical shape, that if I had been lucky enough to been shown the doorway to all of this years ago, I could have been on testosterone blockers at a very young age, and I would have never had these things happen to me, because my puberty would have, puberty blockers and hormone, testosterone blockers would have squashed it. And now it's, it's time intensive, expensive, painful surgeries and things to reverse things that just I find unacceptable for myself. I'm not doing it for anyone else other than myself. I'm not doing it for any outside influences. I'm not doing it for clicks. I'm not doing it for, it's the in thing to do. Yeah. Let's get this straight right now. Being trans is not the easy way. The easy way to live in society is to go on living the way that society expects you to be. But if that doesn't align with what you feel inside, on a personal level, that's not the easy way. I'd rather it be easy for my heart and be judged by everybody around me than hate how my heart doesn't line up with the rest of me just so that I can fit in. Think about that, please. And I think with that thought, I'll send you on your merry way for today. It's the longest video I've ever made. And I had fun making it. And I hope y'all come back and keep watching my channel. This is the first video I've made without TikTok. I've made it right with the camera. And so, yeah, no filters, no nothing. I'm not going to edit this. Nah, we're just going to put it. And I'll probably make some sort of little link or something to Facebook, or I don't know. I'm not going to upload a half-hour-long video to Facebook, but this will go up on YouTube. Yeah, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Send all your friends over here if they're open-minded. And I mean, even if they're not, maybe we can try to teach them something. Don't bite hard. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you all for allowing me your time to teach you some things about being trans, and I will continue to do this. Maybe someday soon I'll do a live stream. I have to kind of figure that out. I've never done that before. It would be fun to set it up where I could respond to your comments as we're going along. You know, have a discussion, basically, in real time. So, anyways, all my love for y'all. Thank you for letting me bend your ear. And thank you for giving me your heart. Hearts and stars for y'all. I love you. Ciao.